Warning: Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Everybody's suspect that would do me harm. And don't ever forget Malcolm. Malcolm said that Republicans are brute wolves and Democrats are sly foxes.
Preach.
But don't ever forget they both belong to the dog.
Amen.
What it do, family and friends? Welcome back to the Church of Black Power. If you're not subscribed, go ahead, hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you can be notified whenever videos like this drop. Please make sure you're hitting that like, share, and if you're watching this on a replay, that hype button so we can beat up the algorithm. Make sure we get this message out to the ears that need to hear. And if you have not done so yet, please hit the link in the description, go to change.org and put your signature on the petition for reparations, as well as hitting the other link, joining the Telegram group and joining the Telegram group to help circumvent some of the shadow banning that YouTube has been doing with the new black media as of recently. Now, with that being said, family, welcome back to another Sunday service. We have much to discuss here. Much to discuss. We got to talk about Tatum's tots because, god dang it, I've been waiting a little bit and kept pushing back the conversation about Tatum, but we got to talk about it here today. We also got to talk about Godfrey once again, and every time I think I get out, they keep pulling me back in. We got to talk about the conversation Godfrey had with Wyclef Jean, and I don't remember the other guy's name because, you know, he's not even worked, you know, putting any memory space or making memory space for him. You know what I mean? The other Tether, you know, Godfrey's homeboy, the ex-football player, whatever his name may be. The guy who's married to a Nabisco woman who wants us to believe she's mixed. Yeah, that guy. We got to talk about that. And then we also got to talk about the new executive orders that Trump just, signed just a few days ago. But before we get there, family, let me go ahead and scroll on up and give my B1 salute and shaloms to our sister Brenda Thomas in the building. Shout out to you and thank you for being here. Our good brother Black Truth United, as always, my warrior brother. Much love to you and thank you for being here as well. Our good brother Isaac Holloway in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. Our sister Andrea Jones in the building. Shout out to you and thank you for being here. Our sister Queen Angelic is in the building. Much love to you, my sister, and thank you for being here, as well as our sister Mrs. TT in the building. Shout out to you and thank you for being here, my warrior sister, and thank you for your super chat. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contributions as always, my warrior sister. Foundational Black American lineage. We are one of a kind people. Absolutely, my warrior sister, and thank you once again for all you do. Our sister Patricia A. Jones is in the building. Shout out to you, my warrior sister. Thank you for being here. Our sister Anita Harrell is in the building. Our young brother Retro Gemini in the building. Much love to you, my brother, and thank you for being here. Our good brother Antithesis in the building. Shout out to you, my warrior brother, and thank you for being here. And thank you for your super chat. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contributions as always, my warrior brother. As well as, let me give another B1 salute to our brother Antithesis for gifting 5 Church of Black Power memberships. Much love to you, my warrior brother, and thank you for all that you do. And once again, a B1 salute to our good brother Antithesis for your Cashapp donation. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contributions as always, my warrior brother. Much love to you. A B1 salute and shalom to our good brother Jesse Paris in the building. Shout out to you. Shout out to Colorado, and shout out to Frontline News. Y'all make sure to go give our brother a watch or two. Our sister Naomi Watson in the building. Shout out to you, my sister, and thank you for being here. Our sister Queen Hurricane Nisi is in the building. Much love to you, my sister Queen. And thank you for being here. And thank you for being a member of the church for 17 months strong, my warrior sister. Thank you for all your contributions and all that you do as well, my sister Queen. Much love to you. Our sister Intrigue is in the building. Much love to you, my sister. And thank you for being here as well. Shout out once again to our sister, Miss TT, for your gifts. Much love to you and thank you for your donation. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contributions as always, my sister. Our family, Ramsey, the FBA in the building. Shout out to you and thank you for being here as well. Ruby Runner is in the building. Shout out to you and Shalom. Much love to you and thank you for being here, as well as our sister Beauty with Brains in the building. Shout out to you and thank you for being here as well. Our good brother Leonard Day Yuta is in the building. Shout out to you, my warrior brother, and thank you for being here. Deep One is in the building. Shout out to you and thank you for being here. He says, Otis, I'm here. Shout out to you, family. Much love to you. Thank you for being here, family. Ben Frank is in the building. Shout out to you, my warrior brother, and thank you for being here, as well as our good brother Zavon Scott is in the building. Shout out to you and Shalom, my warrior brother, as well as our good brother Dale in the building. Shout out to you and thank you for being here, as well as our good brother DSB. Shalom and shout out to you, my warrior brother, and thank you for being here and all that you do as well. And if you ain't following our good brother, go shoot our brother a follow as well. Shout out to our sister Delaney Brooks in the building, as well as our good brother AO in the building. That Mr. AO, if you're nasty, apparently, you know, that's what, you know, Janet said. So I'm just trying to give our brother some leeway. Shout out to our good brother, our sister Full Armor of Yah in the building. Shout out to you and thank you for being here, as well as our sister Sugar Love Cafe in the building. Much love to you and thank you for being here, as well as our good brother RBJ. Shalom to you, my good brother, and thank you for being here, as well as our good brother Reparations Nation and our brother Crew Reality in the building. Shout out to the both of you and thank you for being here, as well as Brandon in the building. Shout out to you and thank you for being here, family. Much love to you. Ray Gunn in the building, FBA. Shout out to you, my good brother. Much love to you. Much love to you. Thank you for being here, as well as our sister M. Hampton in the building. Shout out to you and thank you for being here as well. Make sure we got our good sister Donna C is in the building. Shalom to you, my sister Queen, and thank you for being here, as well as our sister Southern Breeze. Makes me feel fine. Shout out to you, my warrior sister. Thank you for being here. Katrina Watson in the building. Shout out to you, our good brother Snatch Adams in the building, as well as our sister Cassandra in the building. Shout out to each and every one of you and thank you for being here. And for all those who are not in the chat, shout out to you. And for all those who's going to catch this on a replay, much love to you and thank you all for being here. And a B1 and shalom to our sister Priscilla Taylor in the building. Much love to you. Now, and the buzzer beater, our brother A. Jones in the building. Shout out to you and thank you. Oh, my sister A. Jones. My apologies. Shout out to my sister A. Jones in the building. Much love to you, as well as it's Tim Love. Much love to you and thank you for being here as well. Now, first and foremost, before we get into the Tatum situation, you know, I got to give a little update real quick. I want to give you guys an update on what happened here. Apparently, Sean Grayson has been trying to get a early release or early parole due to his cancerous situation. And he just got denied and declined. And I am very happy to hear it so. Shout out to DJ Black 909, as well as Tethers Dookie outside. Much love to the both of you. Let's go here first and foremost.
The Illinois Prisoner Review Board has unanimously decided against releasing former Sheriff's Deputy Sean Grayson. Grayson was seeking medical release as he battles stage 4 colon cancer. A jury convicted Grayson of second-degree murder in the killing of Sonia Massey inside her kitchen 2 years ago. He and another deputy were responding to Massey's 911 call about a possible prowler outside of her home. Once inside, Grayson then fired his gun. He claimed he thought Massey was about to throw a pot of boiling water at him. Grayson did not attend today's hearing. He has served 6 months of his 20-year sentence so far. NBC News correspondent Shaquille Brewster is following this and joins us now. Shaq, it was an emotional hearing. Many members of Massey's family spoke. Take us.
Let me pause it for a second and let me just say this, family. Let me just say this. It's too bad he can't just shoot that cancer, right? Yeah, it's too bad that he can't, you know what I'm saying, just pull out his gun and just unload a bunch of clips all over, unload a full magazine all over the cancer, the rectal cancer that he has, right? It's too bad he can't do that and claim that he tried to throw water on him. You know, it's too bad. It's too bad. Let's continue.
For what happened and the rules around medical release that Grayson tried to use here.
Hi there, Ellison. Well, you mentioned that Grayson is currently dealing with stage 4 colon cancer. And in his application to this review board, a physician says that that condition will likely result in death within the next 18 months. Further, deeper in that application, they say that he will suffer, quote, medical incapacity within that period of time. So he was asking this review board to essentially release him from prison. But you had Sonia Massey's family there pushing back emotionally and aggressively to that idea. I want you to listen to a little bit of what we heard from her father.
Look at what it will do to our family if he is released today on this compassionate release. He showed my child no compassion.
When the judge issued that maximum sentence, 20 years in prison, the judge said that Grayson showed unreasonable rage that needed to be deterred. The prison board upholding that sentence for now. Ellison.
We thank you for watching.
Shout out to the father. Shout out to the father. Yeah, he should be out there making sure that that man never see the light of day again. And if he only got 18 months left to live, guess what? That's 18 months that he needs to sit behind those cells, those 4 walls. If these walls could talk, they could tell us what he was thinking in his last 18 months. And yes, my sister, she did say he only served 6 months into a 20-year sentence. So yeah, I'm glad that they said denied, access denied. Keep your ass locked the hell up and suffer. I'm glad they didn't say, yeah, we're going to keep you locked up, but we're going to transfer you somewhere with a good medical facility. Nah, I want them in the worst conditions. I want him in the worst possible health. I want him to have to deal with all that ABK. Colon cancer. How ironic. And who said it? Who said it? Was it Snatch Adams? You always on some stuff. Snatch Adams said that cancer is throwing hot water on his pussy. That is crazy. crazy work. Shout out to Tethers Dookie outside. Thank you for your gift, family. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always. Yeah, rectum cancer. It's a lot of folks, it seems like, dealing with that rectum cancer. Isn't Joe Biden dealing with the same type of cancer in the rectum? I'm just saying, you know, there's a lot of these people dealing with some rectum situations. But like I said, you know, I bet he wish he could just pull out his pistol and start busting on a goddamn cancer can, don't he? I'm pretty sure that's the case. Yeah, everybody pray for Snatch Adams, damn it. Everybody pray for Snatch Adams. Exactly, my sister. White privilege card denied. And that was some privileged stuff if I've never seen it. A person to come in after serving 6 months out of a 20-year sentence begging for a compassionate release when you quite literally unalive somebody in her home for nothing. You want compassion. This woman called you to her house for help and you took her life. Nah. That jail cell is compassion. Because the truth of the matter is, all praise to the Most High. When I say this, some people might take it a certain way. Some people might not. I don't give a damn. You went into jail after. As a matter of fact, you unalived Sonia Massey after you found out that you had colon cancer. After. So everything that happens to you after the fact is well deserved. You ain't think to yourself, man, this woman called me over here to help her, and let me be very compassionate with this woman and see what I can do to help her, even though it doesn't seem like a situation that she needs me. Nah, you wasn't compassionate like that. You sat here, pulled out your pistol, and unalived a woman, shot several times into her face, and then lied and said that she tried to throw water at you. I hope you feel every bit of pain, every cell that's breaking down. I hope you feel the crumble, the deterioration. I hope you feel every bit of it. You made your decision. Now live with it. And shout out to the ancestors and shout out to the Most High. And rest in paradise to our sister Sonia Massey. Now, let's get into the Tatum Tot situation, family. Let's get into the Tatum Tot situation. Because Tatum Tot has been out there on his damn knees. And when I say this man has been out there on his knees, I mean, this man has been gobbling, swallowing. This man has been removing. I think he removed his tonsils so that he could take all the Nabisco pink meat that he could take at one time. It's not even the fact that he's just trying to take the pink meat. He's trying to find all the pink meats and see how many pink meats he could put in his mouth all at once. He is participating in a pink meat gobbling contest. It is on a bun. I mean, he don't even need any water. He's just taking the pink meat down. And it's kind of funny because, Tatum Tots is an ex-pig, an ex-officer there who for some reason still goes around using the title officer. And I never thought you see pigs, they like to eat all kind of stuff. I can't even deny that part. A pig will eat his own excrements, to be fair and honest. So I can't even say I'm surprised that he out here eating on pink meat. But family, let's go over here. Let's start out because there was so much pink meat chasing going on here. So much pink meat chasing. I got to figure out where the hell we're going to start off. You know what? Let's start off with the Nolan Wells situation. Let's do that. Let's start with the Nolan Wells situation. Let's go here. Because Brandon Tatum had the audacity, the nerve to sit down with one of the kids who deleted all of his social media, who wanted to stay quiet, one of the kids who didn't go to no other media out there. And I want everybody to take notice. When it was a situation with Carmelo Anthony, Oh, they silenced the family. They put a gag order on the family. Even after Hunter and Jeff came out doing interviews. And in this situation, the family is doing interviews, but everybody on the side who should be looked at as suspects were quiet. They deleted all their socials. They was allowing the mother of one of the friends, who just so happened to be a judge, to speak for them. And now they're comfortable enough to come out and have a conversation, but the only person they're comfortable to have a conversation with is Tatum Tots. And when you listen to the conversation, when you listen to the interview, you understand why. Let's go here, family.
Wyatt went and put his smaller boat in the water, which is the Palm Beach. He's an 18-foot Palm Beach. And Wyatt, I drove the boat from Fort Bayou boat launch to my buddy's grandparents' house. And that's where we all planned to meet up that day. And
you say we all, who you talking about? You, Nolan, and how many people are going to meet you guys there?
We had roughly 20 to 30 people coming on 3 separate boats with us. And so we were all following each other out there as one big group. You know, it wasn't just me and Nolan and a couple other of my buddies. There was 20 or 30 people spread out where we all met at the dock before, and then we departed to go to Horn Island. It wasn't just a couple of us. I mean, there were so many people, we had to split up between 3 boats, and we all left and all got there at the same time.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that's clear, because the statements that are out there made it appear that it was just you, Nolan, and probably 2 or 3 other guys, and y'all are the only ones that went out to this island.
And that's completely incorrect. I mean, Horn Island on the 4th of July is the most popular day to be on the water on, you know, throughout the entire Gulf Coast. I mean, everybody and their mom is on the water on 4th of July, you know. There's no telling. I mean, roughly probably 2 to 3, maybe even 4,000 people out there. There were boats lined up off the island. I mean, there was 3 rows of boats all the way until my vision ended, until I could see of people from, I mean, there was 1 row of boats, and then there was another row of boats, and then there was a 3rd row of boats.
All right, family. So he goes on to talk about a lot of stuff, especially one of the things that I caught was the fact that he went on to speak about how, just like the other kid that came out on TMZ, and he was talking about he was Roland's best friend and all this other stuff. He never been to Roland's house. All these people that are coming out who are claiming to be his friends have never been to this man's house, has never met his parents or anything of the sort. And family, and I agree with this. He rehearsed this script. Not only did he rehearse it, but there was a backup plan in case people didn't believe it. I want to go here. Let me go to the second part of this clip here, and then I'm going to show you the backup plan. Let's go here.
And all the boys were like, no. I texted Javon, and I was like, hey, can you send me Miss Christine's number? Because I haven't heard from Nolan. And if she hasn't heard from Nolan, then I'm calling the Coast Guard. And so eventually, Javon sends me her number.
Who is her? That's
Miss Christine.
Miss Christine is
Nolan's mom.
Nolan's mom.
Yeah. And I walked down to the dock because, I mean, there was a lot of people today. It was not a lot, but, you know, there was probably 15 of our friends there. And I was just like, walked down to the dock with a couple of my buddies, and I got on the phone. I called Miss Christine, called her the first time. She didn't answer. I called her a second time, and I got on the phone with her, and I asked her if she had heard from Nolan. She said no. And I said, all right, well, don't freak out. I'm going to call the Coast Guard.
Let me ask this question. He said that he tried to call Miss Christine, which is Nolan's mother. And then you asked her, have she heard from Nolan? I want to know, how can she hear from her son when you all had Nolan's phone. I want to know why you would call his mother and ask her if she heard from Nolan when it was found that you all was found with Nolan's phone. Like, I'm one of those type of people, I like to pick up on what people are putting down. I listen intuitively for these type of reasons. But Braden is just sitting right there looking them square in the face. And you telling me this question didn't come across his head? You telling me that the common sense of a police officer wouldn't kick in and say, well, wait a second. Why are you calling his mother when it was found that you all had his phone? So wouldn't you know that he didn't contact her? I'm just saying, these folks here, they're very unintelligent. Shout out to Andrea Jones, a liar, just like his clansesters. And what does Toria Rain say all the time? These people are they clansesters all day, every day. Absolutely. Shout out to Julia Spencer in the building. Much love to you, my sister, and thank you for being here. Let's continue.
And this was at about 11 o'clock.
So what's your intent in calling the Coast Guard, right? Because right now, Nolan could be with a chick. He could be with somebody else.
Right.
He could have gone back with somebody else. What made you concerned enough that you felt like you couldn't weigh it out anymore? You had to call the Coast Guard.
Well, I mean, like I said, my friends and I have been on the water our whole life. Stuff happens. People die all the time. I know people that have died out there. And, you know, it's a fun place to be, but it's also a very, very dangerous place to be if you're not handling it right. And Nolan, so I hadn't heard from him. And obviously, I'm thinking I'd way rather be safe than sorry. I mean, I would rather call the Coast Guard 100 times and lose my mind over it, my buddy be okay, than, you know, not, and, you know, me not know where he is and him not.
Family, with all the hogwash just coming out of this man's mouth, I'm sure the whole room smells like feces. Musty feces at that. You were so concerned about Nolan that you had no problem leaving him on an island and taking his phone with you. Like, everything that we know as of right now is combating everything that he's saying out of his mouth. You were so concerned about him, but you didn't leave him with his phone. You didn't make sure that he had his property. You didn't make sure that whoever he was with, you had gotten names and locations of where they were going. None of that. If I'm leaving with my homeboy, and my dude tells me, hey, bro, I'm going home with Jennifer. Oh, yeah, you going home with Jenny from the block, huh? All right. Negro, where she live at? You don't remember where Jenny on the block stay from? Nah, I don't mess with Jenny like that. Where she live at? She lived 3 blocks down. She lived right next door to the candy house. Oh, she lived, okay. Oh, okay. She lived by Mrs. Wilson. All right, cool. All right, I'm going to call your brother and I'm going to let him know where you are. Or you call your brother and tell him where you are. If he calls me, I'm going to let him know. We going to take him. Hey, let her know. If my boy come up missing, hey, we going to have people knocking at that door. That's how we was raised. That's how we were brought up. And I definitely wouldn't take the man's phone and say, oh, you going to go over her house? Okay, I'm taking your phone with me. That makes no sense. But they're damn sure trying to make sure that people who hear this take it as if they're saying something logical. Well, that was just the logical thing to do. Shout out to our sister Tia to you in the building. She says sneaking into the church and sitting 3 pews from the back with the fan. Yelling, pretending like I've been here the whole time. Shout out to our sister Tia to you. Creeping in the church with one finger. I see you. I see you. Shout out to our sister Rosemary Gabbard in the building as well. Much love to you, my sister Queen, and thank you for being here, as well as King Youngland in the building. Shout out to you and thank you for being here, as well as Lillian Madison in the building. Shout out to you all and thank you all for being here, family. It is always a pleasure. Let's continue.
I'll be okay. And so I called the Coast Guard and I talked to them on the phone for like 20 minutes, gave him a description, what Dylan was wearing, the last place we were at, the last time I saw him, who were we with, what boat we were on, the conditions of the water, just a summary. And I called Miss Christine back after and I talked to her and I said, I got to contact the Coast Guard. I'm not sure who she called or, what she did, but I think she said she was going to make a couple phone calls to either DMR or Jackson County Sheriff's Office. And I was thinking worst case scenario. I would way rather be safe than sorry about this,
If you wanted to be safe, you wouldn't have took his phone. Do you see what I'm saying, family? Like everything goes back to them taking this young man's phone. Everything. No matter what they try to put out, no matter how they try to put it down, all of this, if you had nothing to do with it, all of this could have been mitigated if you would have just left him along with his property. You take his phone, you take his keys, and then you want to talk about, I'm calling the Coast Guard just to be sure. Exactly, AO. Tampering with evidence. But we don't know if it was evidence as of yet. But yeah, it's still tampering with evidence. So I don't buy any of this nonsense, and neither did anybody watching this. Everybody saw this for what the hell it was. A bootlick tap dancing Sambo running around saying, oh, they trying to get up on Massa? Oh, I can help Massa. Let me go ahead and help Massa out real quick.
Massa? Is we sick, Massa?
Everybody who watched this felt the same dang way. Even the goddamn Nabiscos was like, damn, this dude be tap dancing so hard. He be swallowing our meat so damn much. Like, god dang it, we might as well just go ahead and make him turn them into a meat market. He intake and export meat. And yes, Tatum, I got to play this for you too.
You's a cool nigga.
Yeah, so you called. So it seems like you called mom immediately.
Right.
Probably the first phone call that she got from anybody.
That's the first phone call, like at least I made. And I would assume that's the first phone call she got from anybody because Javon hadn't called her. And, there's nothing wrong with that, but Javon hadn't called her. And, I was just worried about my friend. Stuff happens out there, boat problems. It could be anything. But, there's a lot of stuff that happens out there. And I was just worried about my friend.
Bootlick. Bootlick. Very much so. I've seen youngins lose their shit over trying to take their phones, and I am absolutely 100% real with you when I say this. So have I. So just to think that he would be okay with you taking his phone and keys and leaving him on a damn island some damn where, no matter who's on the island with them. Nobody is going to say, oh, okay, hey, I'm going to leave with her, but do me a favor, take my phone and my keys, and I'll come pick it up from your house later. For the hell what? Wouldn't you want to take your phone and your keys with the honey fly dip that you're going back to the house with? Because after which she can drop you off at home and you're going to need to get in the house? Like I said, this whole scenario, nobody believed quite literally anything. As a matter of fact, it was more telling to show that these folks actually probably most likely had something to do with this whole scenario, with this whole get down. Now, they had a backup plan in case the interview did not go the way they wanted it to go. You know what that backup plan was, family? It's the same political theater that Al Sharpton and Tyler Perry just did when they said, hey, I'm putting up $50,000 for any information that will lead to an arrest and a conviction of a suspect. And then Tyler Perry came back along and say, hey, I will add $50,000. And Al Sharpton's like, now that's $100,000. And anybody comes with information that leads to an arrest and a conviction. Shout out to Twad in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here, my warrior brother. As well as our sister Tiffany Jackson in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here. Now, what they did was say, well, if it's good for the shills and the tap dancers, you know, let me go ahead and throw something on that too. So the father of this Nabisco, who looks like a goddamn half dragon, half vampire, half ghoul, his father, the doctor, has said, you know what? I'm offering a $50,000 reward too for anybody who can give information that's going to lead to an arrest and a conviction. I told you, family, when you're seeing people like Al Sharpton doing stuff like this, when you see people getting behind it like Tyler Perry and putting money on top of it, you might not want to look at Tyler Perry that way, and I'm not saying that you should. All I'm saying is that he might have been looking like, okay, I'm willing to match that. Let me go ahead and do that. But the way that Al Sharpton presented it, it surely seemed like political theater. So what do you think the parents are going to do if they claim that they loved Nolan? I call this man Roland. If they claim that they love Nolan too, they come right around there and say, well, we'll put money on it too, knowing damn well that there's not going to be any goddamn information being brought forward that's going to lead to an arrest and a conviction at least at this point in time, because everybody's on cold. Everybody mum's the word. So it's nothing for them to go ahead and say, yeah, I'll throw 50,000 on that too. This is the nonsense, family. This is the nonsense, and this is really at the core. This is white supremacy at its finest. Neely Fuller Jr. said what? White supremacy likes to take both sides, really all sides of the argument. So you got 50,000 from Al Sharpton, you got 50,000 from Tyler Perry, and now you got 50,000 from Warren Hudson's father. Is all sides covered here? Right. Let's move forward here. And somebody put it in the chat earlier, and I'm in total agreement with you that Tatum has been getting a lot more airtime ever since he did that interview as well. Shout out to our sister Rosemary, Officer Raccoon. Not even a nice one from Pocahontas. That's Not even a nice raccoon from Pocahontas, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Enigma. Exactly. Warren's dad want to give up $50K now. Like I said, that's just to cover his butt. Shout out to Pink Blue in the building. Much love to you and thank you for being here. So if Nolan was left on an island, how was Nolan to get back to the mainland? They had his phone. So how did Warren even know Nolan was missing when Nolan's mother didn't know he was missing? Because they had his phone. They didn't call his mother because they were concerned. They called his mother to have an alibi. They just didn't know that Nolan's mother would be able to track that phone. So that nullifies everything that this creature, this critter, this heathen has just said. Shout out Ramona Bryant in the building. Much love to you and thank you for being here as well. Let's continue. Want to go here?
Let me address the optics issue here first, which is weird for a white guy to say this to a black man. But there are people in the black community who are going to say, I can't believe you had that Brandon Tatum on. He's not a real black guy. He attacks the black cause. It doesn't matter that he's black. He's worse than a white racist. What do you make of that allegation? And why do you think it's out there?
Well, Chris, thank you so much. And I'll say this, man, we're all Americans at the end of the day. So I don't take any offense of you using your freedom of speech and your commentary to come up with these things or make your point. I think it's laughable. I mean, for somebody to say, I don't like the black community because I'm willing to find both sides of the story to get to what happened to Nolan Wells. I mean, people should be ashamed of themselves for even framing me like that. But the problem is many people want this country to stay divided. They want us to stay in a sense of fight or flight mode, and that racism is the main focus. And that's the main contributor to black success or failure in this country. And it's just not the case. Most
internalize the flatulation of the matter by transmitting the effervescence of the Indonesian proximity in order to further segregate the crux of my venereal infection.
You's a cool nigga.
People are not worried about race. I'm sure you and I couldn't care less what color somebody's skin is. Are you a good person or you're not a good person? And some things that I found out after going to Mississippi and talking to a whole slew of people is that in this situation, it does not appear that race was a factor. A young man lost his life, and I think that's what we need to focus on, and we need to focus.
Nigga, please.
Did you take a stupid pill with your breakfast this morning, Admiral?
It's always the people who wants everyone to believe that it's not about race, who screams racism when it doesn't work out for them. Wasn't Brandon Tatum running around talking about how people are being racist because they were calling him out for being a bootlick? I mean, it's very telling when you are attacked by these racists, you're calling out racists for words. But when something heinous happens to our people, all of a sudden it's not about race. Tatum, it's always been about race. When you come up missing, when they break you as a tool that you are, and I mean permanently, to where they will no longer use you, let's see how much it isn't about race then.
It's on finding out how he lost his life.
What is your take, as someone who's obviously intimately familiar with law enforcement, what is your take on the suggestion that, you know, the authorities really started this? They came out too soon saying no foul play. They should have said that they were investigating because there's not enough evidence for them to put out there of their own conclusion. What do you think of that?
Well, they're darned if they do, they're darned if they don't. If they said nothing, people will be mad that they didn't say enough. If they come out, at least give some people some idea of what the investigation has in store so far, then people get mad at that. They did not say that there was no foul play. They said at this point, we don't have any indication of foul play, which I think that any rational person that's involved or invested in this should feel very confident in, like, okay, we're not looking at some heinous murder where a kid was mutilated and things like that. At least they can feel somewhat of relief that it wasn't a brutal murder.
Okay. I'm going to go here and I'm going to let Nancy Grace go ahead and respond to another bootlick. But what she has to say is basically what I'm going to say. So let me just go here.
Something that everybody kind of latched onto because they're so desperate for any information that might be related to the cause of his death. But even the own pathologist that conducted the autopsy did not
put him up. Mobley, are you a medical doctor? Yes, no.
I know how to examine forensic evidence based on the countless homicides that I
Listening,
filed.
not hearing, yes, no.
And I know what a lot of people are going to ask, is Mobley a tether? Well, unfortunately, family, he is not. He is one of our homegrown coons, one of our homegrown tap dancers, bootlicks, one of our homegrown massa we six. We sick massa? Massa?
Massa? Is we sick, Massa?
So unfortunately, we're going to have to take that L, family. That's on us.
You're not a medical doctor.
I'm a jurist.
Are you a medical examiner?
I am not.
No. Put up the back diagram, the back of the head of Nolan Wells from the second autopsy right now. You know what? I give it to you, Mobley. You're a great trial lawyer. A medical examiner, you ain't. And I don't know why you're saying people are latching onto this, grabbing at straws. I'm looking right at it, man. Should I believe you or my lying eyes? I am looking at the second autopsy. And I have questioned multiple actual medical examiners, actual doctors that say that means something. Put him up again. In what world would the first medical examiner remove Nolan's throat if it did not have something probative about it, something that proves something? Did they remove his toe? No. His elbow? No. His eyeball? His nose? No. They took his throat. Do not tell me that a medical doctor, which you are not, took a throat out of this young man because it means nothing. And then, you know what? I can't even hear you. Straight out to Joe Scott Morgan joining us, professor of forensics, death investigator. That second doctor did not highlight that in red for nothing. That doctor is not grabbing at straws, as Mobley said. I don't know why he's saying that.
No, you're right. He has purpose. We have purpose in everything that we do.
Shout out to our sister Angelic. Nancy Grace is on their ass. I'll give her that much. She's a real prosecutor, and she has been. Nancy and I was looking for the clip of her telling Brandon Tatum off as well. I had it in my email, and I don't know what happened to it, but the broadcast was beginning to start, so I was like, I'll just go without it. But yeah, she's been on their necks, and I'll give her that damn much. You know, but for the most part, what I really like about it is that she's basically holding their feet to the fire and making them look stupid. This man sat here and tried to make it seem like people just want to hone in on the race issue. And then what she say? Go to the tapes. Pull it up. Pull it up.
Now, you know what? I give it to you, Mobley. You're a great trial lawyer. A medical examiner, you ain't. And I don't.
You're a great trial lawyer. But a medical examiner, you ain't.
I don't know why you're saying people are latching onto this, grabbing at straws. I'm looking right at it, man. Should I believe you or my lying eyes? I am looking at the second autopsy. And I have questioned multiple actual medical examiners, actual doctors that say that means something. Put him up again. In what world?
And many of you are putting it in the chat. Look at that idiotic grin. That's the grin of a bootlick who's getting told off by Massa. who's getting told off by Mrs. Daisy. Oh, Miss Daisy, I'm glad you scolded me a little bit. I deserved every bit of it, Miss Daisy, and I know that I sounded like somebody that don't have any sense, and I'm glad that you gave me some sense, Miss Daisy. Oh my God, you make me feel so good by teaching me the lessons that I need to learn, Miss Daisy. Here's a better rendition, especially for people like, and we're going to go back over here to Tatum Todd. So I'm going to play this clip right here. Then we're going to get back to this situation right here. Tatum, it's you. This is also Mobley.
Toby way. Toby be good for your hand, boss. Good for your hand, master.
Who does this remind you of?
Toby be good nigga for master. Good nigga. Good nigga. Don't send Toby away. Toby be good for your hand, boss. Good for your hand, master. Stay. Toby stay. Toby stay. Toby be good now. Real good.
Yeah, buddy, you've been telling lies. Damn it, Tatum. Did they take a polygraph or what? Damn it. Out. Objection, not going to cut it. Officer Dingbat, which one is it? Did they take a polygraph or not?
Don't.
That's what Tatum right now look like. That's what Mobley looks like. And that's what all of them looks like. Toby be a good nigga for massa. Don't send Toby away. Now, with that in mind, let's go back over here and tell me if that's not all you hear in the rest of his conversation.
But there's still an investigation that needs to go on, and they're dedicated in finding out what happened to Nolan. And if it leads to a murder, they're going to let the public know, and people are going to be held accountable. So I don't know why people get so frustrated with these things if they're looking at it in a fair sense, where they're not going to give you everything. They can only give you so much, so they can actually give you a fair investigation. So at the end result, it can be, done in a fashion where they can present it to a grand jury.
Well, but and it's a little in the weeds for people, but I do think it's important. So they're presenting evidence to a grand jury. The official word is we don't have any proof of any foul play yet, but we are going to a grand jury. Now, as you and I know, and people at home should know, yes, the grand jury looks for the lowest level of proof, which is probable cause, but a prosecutor has to have a good faith belief that there is something to bring to the grand jury worth their time in order to go to one. So what are we supposed to think here, Brandon? Why are they going to a grand jury if there's nothing to see here?
Yeah, that's a great question. Basically, what I heard from authorities is that this is typical. Any case involving a mysterious death or where it's undetermined, they have to take all their evidence to a grand jury and present it to make sure that there's nothing afoot and they don't believe that other people who have been involved should be charged. So it's not an indictment to say that there's a crime occurred. It's typical for them to do this. It's routine. This is the process that every case that is not clearly determined that it wasn't a crime afoot, they have to bring all the evidence they have to the grand jury. And they do that for public trust. So so they can't go down and say, well, they did this for this case and not for this case. Every case involving a death that's undetermined in this fashion will be brought to a grand jury.
Toby be a good nigga for massa. Please don't send Toby away. Toby be a good nigga for massa. Family, like I said, this man here is the epitome of what you should put in front of your children and say, you should never be like this man. This is what a coon looks like, children. You thought that little furry thing that be jumping around in the trees, that was a raccoon? No, this right here is a raccoon, children. This right here is a raccoon. Shout out to the Earth Angel in the building, along with our sister Astarte Jones, Keith Cogdwell, as well as 400 PV in the building. Much love to each and every one of you, and thank you all for being here. And to my brother 400, shout out to you. Thank you for your Cash App. Your donation is blessed tenfold. Now I appreciate your contribution as always, my warrior brother. Now, let's go here, because like I said, it just progressively gets worse. He goes on Jubilee. And he speaks about how Donald Trump isn't a racist. America is not a racist country. And he spoke about Tulsa, Oklahoma. So we're going to have to get into it a little bit and clear some things up for the moronic people in the back of the classroom who actually pay attention to Tatum Tots. Let's go here.
He's done a lot of things that help and benefit the black community. People take one little thing that he denounced and try to make that his entire character. I don't think that that's fair.
I think at a time where racial tensions are clearly high, there's been a lot of racial battles, and he hasn't denounced many situations. And I feel that—
Like which one? I don't know which one he hasn't denounced.
Having the Proud Boys march in Washington, D.C.
Proud Boys are not racist.
Nigga, please.
What the f does that mean, Kobe Bryant?
Did you take a stupid pill with your breakfast this morning, Admiral?
The Proud Boys aren't racist, ladies and gentlemen. The Proud Boys aren't racist, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tatum Tots. This is how much he needs whatever funding he's getting, whatever thumb in his butt he's getting, whatever the situation is. This is how far this man has to reach. Many of these people have Nazi symbols all over their bodies. Not to mention all the nonsense that these people have been doing. Popping up in black neighborhoods, trying to terrorize them, even though they pop up in the wrong neighborhoods, trying to terrorize them and they get ran off. They're still trying to terrorize those folks nonetheless. Continue.
What would you say?
Oh, I see you, family. Hold on. Shout out to my brother Antithesis. Once again for the super chat. Your donation is blessed tenfold. And I appreciate your contribution. As always, my warrior brother. And I must oblige.
Send in the clowns.
The Proud Boys are.
Well, first of all, the Proud Boys are run by a black guy. He's Dominican. He's a black guy. And Proud Boys have supported us at a few of our events. And
he is not a black guy. He is a white Dominican. He is a white Latino. In the very same way that Fat Joe is a white Latino. It says it on his his driver's license. It says it on his police arrest report. So don't be trying to sit here and conflate the two, you lying ass piece of donkey poo. And look at him bucking his eyes. The eye buck on these people be real for real.
Massa, is we sick, Massa?
They're black, they're Hispanic. They painted the Proud Boys. The Proud Boys
are white nationalists.
They're not white nationalists.
Then what are they, Tatum? What are they?
They painted them as a white nationalist because they were fighting against leftist extremists, Antifa. They're not white nationalists. Maybe some of them have white nationalist perspectives, but I'm telling you, the guy who's running the organization.
Maybe some of them have white nationalist perspectives. That makes them white nationalists. It don't matter whether the person who's running it is a Clayton Bigsby or a Fat Joe. If they're pushing white supremacist talking points, if they have white supremacist rhetoric, such as yourself, they're a white supremacist group. But like Nancy Grace say, don't believe your lying eyes. They want you to just believe them. Please believe me. Please believe me.
a black guy. They're listening to one side. I know guys in the Proud Boys. They're not racist. They supported one of our black events.
I get so sick and tired of these people trying to put on a cape for these Nabiscos by saying, well, so-and-so ain't racist. He's always been nice to me. And I personally, I've never seen it. These anecdotal stories that doesn't prove anything against what we're saying. It does not nullify what we're saying. You're just saying that they like you because you're the likable Negro. You're the one they pat on the head. Yeah, they would like you because you're the most non-confrontational coon I've ever seen when it comes to Nabiscos. But when it comes to people who have the same color skin as you, like, I don't know, Hotep Jesus, you want to go to hell off. When I see you, I'm kicking your ass. Exactly, my sister. I have a black friend. Introducing the black friend. Continue.
So when they are saying things like white man fight back, what do you think the messaging is?
If you're a racist person, you see that as race. If you're seeing that injustice is happening to white people as well as black people, and you're standing up for the injustice against white people, there's nothing wrong with that.
Anybody that can name to me anything systemic that oppresses white Americans, I will send $100 by Cashapp right now. Anybody who can articulate to me a systematic oppression that white people go through in this country as we speak, I will stop this broadcast and I will send you $100 right now by Cash App. Tell me how these people are oppressed. Nobody's going to be able to do so because it ain't true. And I'm not going to hold my breath thinking anybody's going to come with one of those answers, because there's not a law on the books that targets white Americans in the way that there are laws on the books that target foundational black Americans. Shout out to Tiffany. She says, church, white will say they systematic racism is not being allowed to say the N-word. Even that's not systemic. Even that's not systemic. That's social, because you could say it, but you're also going to have to deal with whatever consequences that come with saying it. Show me where white folk, and this isn't to you, my sister, I know that you were being facetious here. Well, not really, but yeah. But I want people to show me where white folks was redlined. I want people to show me where white folks was denied bank loans. You can get the lowest bottom of the tier of white folk who has the lowest credit score, way lower than a black American, and they will get a loan over the black American. Housing appraisals. Show me where a Nabisco is overcharged for the same services and goods that everybody else is being charged for, like a vehicle. Show me where the American government legislated any type of harm to Nabiscos like they did with foundational black Americans. Show me where the American government put into law that if a white woman has more than 2 children and the father is not in the home, then they can then go in and forcefully sterilize that woman. Show me on the books. You can't do it because it ain't there. Shout out to our sister C. Terry in the building. The Homestead Act. That was a bunch of goodies and giveaways for Nabiscos. Shout out Crystal Rowley in the building. Much love to you and thank you for being here and thank you for your gift, my sister. Your donation is blessed tenfold and I appreciate your contribution as always, family. Like I said, these people speak out the backside of their orifice.
Because white people are under attack in many of these cases. We see it right now in the case that I just exposed with Nolan Wells.
White people are under attack in the case of Nolan Wells. Family, this man is an idiot. Raised to be a coon is a new one to me. Raised to be a coon, trained to be a coon, married to be a coon. There's a lot of cooning going on here. And let me just say this. Just because you're married to a white woman doesn't make you a coon. I don't believe that at all because, you know, I wouldn't say the same thing about a black woman being married to a white man. However, I don't agree with it. It isn't my life to choose. But what I will say is what makes you a coon is not just being married to a white woman, but then hating everything about your people. Every chance you get, you're making an excuse to make black people the problem. And if I understand this correctly, you have mixed children. You're not thinking about any of that, do you? I'm just confused by why you would go so hard and you have mixed children. I'm gonna have to look that up and be sure because if I remember correctly, yeah, he has mixed children. A B1 salute to Black RU. Thank you for being here. And a B1 salute to Thelma Ramsey in the building. Shout out to you, my sister, and thank you for your super chat. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always. Much love to you. See, Terry said, I would. I understand. And look, this is just my opinion, but everybody is allowed to have their own opinion and thoughts. I put it like this. Was Frederick Douglass any less of Frederick Douglass once he married that white woman? No, he wasn't. He still spoke up for foundational Black Americans. He still spoke up against a lot of things that was harmful to us. So in that sense, yeah, I don't judge them on that. I do judge how they act while being with that person, though. That is a huge indication for me. That is the biggest indication. How do you act when you're with this person towards your own community? We ain't never seen Serena Williams come out and just shit all over the Black community. I haven't seen it. And that's why I don't call her a bed wench. But with Candace Owens, oh, that's a bed wench. Tatum Tots, a tap dancing Sambo and boot licking coon. It's that simple. If you're living your life and you ain't got nothing to say about anything like that, then, you know, live your life, baby. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Long as you ain't messing with my people or messing with children, that is your business. But the second you bring up my people, or if I find out you're dealing with children, oh, then that's a whole different situation. That is an entirely different situation. Other than that, hell, go have fun. If you want to throw your thing inside of a garbage disposal, that's your business. Whatever happens after that, it happens. All I'm saying. Now, I won't do it because, like I said, I don't trust these folk. The second you see somebody like Jonathan Majors running away from a person, but yet he gets arrested and put in jail and all the charges go on him and she's the one chasing him, God dang it, what else is there to even talk about on that? At least for me. Shout out to my brother, Mr. A.O. Thank you for your super chat. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always, my warrior brother. They will remind him that he is not one of them. Oh, yeah, and the reminder is always just due. It is, and trust me, what is it? It's the 9th. Yeah, that reminder is just due. You know, this is a very blessed day, you know, Ether 9, 369. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised on the 18th if that came along. We find out that Officer Tatum Toston got his bootlick wake-up call again. Shout out. She says, I just don't feel like you can sleep white and speak black. I feel so bad for the Serena Venus dad. Yeah, I feel you. I have this issue here. If you're saying you're pro-black, that's totally different than saying you're for black people. If you're married to a white woman and you're putting money behind real foundational black American causes, I'm not going to say nothing about you. If you're married to a Nabisco woman and you're forgetting that you're still black, that's a problem you're going to deal with. But coming and thinking that you can speak to me and protect the person that you love, because here's the thing too, and this is in my book Up and Coming, Willie Lynch 2.0, Upgrading the System. Whenever you date interracially, you're going to feel in your need, your inner being, to protect whoever you're dating or you're married to. And that's going to be a natural feeling for you. So it's one of those situations where people need to understand, at least from our point of view, that if you're willing to support the black grassroots, that is one thing. But you can't be out there wagging your finger, going home to the same person that we're out here trying to fight. So I get what you're saying. It is an understandable situation. I'm just saying there are, I don't want to say there are people, but there are some folk who do support the black grassroots, even though they're not married to a black woman or married to a black man. Shout out to you, my warrior sister. Now, let's get into this other part of the Jubilee, because this man, like I said, this right here will show you exactly what I mean when I say that this man will put everything to the side to make sure that the Nabisco don't have to be held accountable for any of their evilness.
Why do you think he got rid of it?
Because he's racist.
To say that Donald Trump is racist is the craziest thing I've heard.
Donald Trump
have you ever met Donald Trump personally?
Get your man.
All right.
He said Donald Trump being called a racist is the craziest thing that I've ever heard. I'm taking bets. I am taking bets. How many pink meats do you think that Brandon is going to have to put in his mouth before he gets to the president? I'm taking bets. How many miniature pink meat porcupines is he going to have to take to the throat in order to get to his idol, Donald J. Trump? Somebody please put it in the chat. We need to know.
No.
Have you don't know him?
No. So
Why
you've
would you
met
say
Donald
I've
Trump.
met Donald Trump several times?
So you're basing his.
I've met Donald Trump several times. And it is so hilarious that there are a bunch of people here who I know aren't foundational Black Americans. Her being one of them. But they damn sure put tether against tether. But continue.
Whether or not he's racist,
You don't have any evidence. You're saying because he allegedly got rid of some desperate impact analysis that somehow that has something to do with race and it only affects Black
But
people.
your evidence is anecdotal. Oh, Trump was nice to me one time. Therefore, he's not a racist.
I have no evidence to believe that Trump is a racist.
Because
You have no evidence to believe that Trump is a racist. That's because you don't have any evidence in your mind that allows you to believe that anybody with white skin is a racist. And we're going to get into his feeling on that in a second when he continues.
you are
Where's the evidence that
excusing
Trump
his
is a racist?
racism. Okay, I'll give you more evidence.
Give me
In
evidence.
1973, his company was sued for violating the Fair Housing Act by openly discriminating
What was
against
the
Black
findings?
renters.
What was the findings of that?
He was actually forced to settle.
It was forced to settle.
Yes,
made
he
a
was
decision
forced to settle. No, he had.
He was forced to settle. Because if he would have went to court, they would have actually had to pay out money. So the settlement that they actually came down to is an agreed upon settlement where he didn't have to put down any funds. He just had to basically do some training and pay for certain types of updates and things like that, upgrades. At the end of the day, he still had to settle. I'm with you, AL. They have pointless debates like a mug. But this dude's going to say some very egregious crap. That's why the only reason why I'm pulling this. Because I do not like Jubilee for nothing. For nothing. Especially because it's ran by one of those goddamn Ching Chong Asians. But you're never seeing any type of debates about Asians and their culture, do you? It's all about Black people. It's all about Republicans. It's all about women. And namely, Black women and Black men.
There's no finding of fault.
Why would someone settle
Was
if
it finding
they were
of
not
fault?
guilty?
You can make up
Why
what you
would someone
want.
settle
You
if
can
he
say,
wasn't
why
doing
would-
it?
Was there a determination in
Yes,
court that he was at fault?
also forced to.
No. Was
yes.
there a determination in court that he was at fault?
He settled, so they didn't have a determination in court. He got out of it by settling, which is what you do when you are guilty,
That's
but
not
you
true.
don't want to go to court.
That's not
yes,
the way
that is
that's
exactly
not the way
what
the
the point of
system
settling
works.
is. Yes,
No,
you
it's
settle
not.
out. Yes.
He had a dissent decree, which they agreed that he would implement certain things in his organization. There was no fault granted.
He was.
They did not prove
What were the
any
things that he had to
discrimination.
implement in his company?
Recruiting. It was a form of it was.
Get your man.
All right.
Nigga, please.
What are you talking about, Brandon? Why would he need to pay for recruiting? This is a housing situation due to his company not allowing Black Americans to move into his apartment buildings while offering those same apartment buildings to white Americans. What are you talking about, Brandon? See, he don't even know what the hell he's saying. What the hell is recruiting got to do with this? Shout out to Ach in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here, family.
I think you're thinking about a different lawsuit against the Trump administration.
He had to make sure that they have job applications available to minorities.
No, this wasn't about jobs. This was about the Trump Corporation, the real estate. Yes, they violated the Fair Housing Act because
maybe we talking about something different.
Well, there were two.
So there's two different situations that you know of then now. Two situations that you know of. You're talking about a totally different situation than the housing situation. But yet you can say with a definitive mind and a sober heart that, yeah, Donald Trump isn't racist. I haven't seen any instances to show that. I agree with you, Thelma. I agree with you, my sister. Shout out to my brother Antithesis once again for your super chat. Your donation is blessed tenfold. And I appreciate your contribution as always, my warrior brother. And you know I will oblige.
Send in the clowns.
He was sued for racism.
I only know of one time.
Yeah, well, you should learn about the other one because it was bad too. Yeah.
I don't think you know what you're talking about.
I don't think you know.
The dissent decree, which was established, there was no findings of Donald Trump being a racist, and his organization has been without fault.
No, that
you cannot find a court document that says that Donald Trump officially discriminated against anybody.
You can't find a court document. What do you think Sado means? When a person brings a lawsuit, the court's findings are released to the public after the case goes to trial. If the case never goes to trial, there are no court findings to release to the public. He knows this. He's an ex-police officer. Only us. Shout out to you. Thank you for being here, family. Tatum's a Charlie Kirk wannabe. Well, he better protect his neck. He best to protect his neck. Shout out to C. Terry. Thank you for once again being here, my sister. And thank you for your super chat. Your donation is blessed tenfold. And I appreciate your contribution as always, my sister Queen. Juba Flea, when Amanda Seals was on, this guy. Yeah, notice they keep bringing on the bootlicks. All the bootlicks you see on Jubilee. Let's go here. Let's get to the egregious part, the most egregious part to me. Because, you know, he's going to say nonsense like he always do because that's what nonsensical people do. That's what bootlicking. Shout out to Slow Frame in the building. Super Saiyan Coons Ultra Instinct will do. A dark version of Charlie Merck. Yep. But remember, I want everybody to remember, he don't do this for free. Remember who he's beholden to. We'll get there in a hot second. Let's go here.
I feel like we're completely jumping over history. We go from slavery to Martin Luther King, then all the way back. We ignore the history of sharecropping, right? We've completely glossed over sharecropping. We've completely glossed over Jim Crow laws and how much wealth was stolen from the Black community. We've completely glossed over the Tulsa race riots. And when Black people did succeed under capitalism, those communities were destroyed. We've completely glossed over eminent domain and how much of the Black community was taken, like literal Black.
Let's talk about.
Like, what about Seneca Village?
Let's talk about Black Wall Street. Let's talk about Black Wall Street. Are we on the same page of what happened in the Tulsa riots? Tulsa race war?
It depends. What do you think happened?
Well, I know what happened. There was a conflict between Black and white people. There was a fight between the two. White people got the best of Black people in Tulsa.
Then no, we are not on the same page.
Well,
no.
let me finish and you tell me where I'm wrong. In that fight, there was a lot of Black businesses destroyed in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They rebuild, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years later, and they begin to continue to succeed. Is that not factual?
Sit down and shut the fuck up, bitch!
When I say that these bootlicks are willing to put their anus against the drywall that has a hole in it for poking, with every ounce of their being, they're showing you how dedicated they are to the system of white supremacy. This isn't him not knowing. This is him trying to put a cape on for the very same people who bombed the goddamn city. First city to ever be bombed by its own government in history. And he would like you to believe because there was a conflict.
What's the truth? What happened then?
I mean, the truth is that a community of successful Black people who were succeeding under capitalism were directly targeted because
They were not
of
directly
that
targeted. It was a
success.
conflict.
Yes.
It was a conflict between a black man, I believe it was a black man.
It started when
and
a
white.
Black man was accused.
I believe it's a black man and white. I believe. Why are you believing anything when there's a whole slew of information on the subject? How many books have you picked up and read? How many times have you sat down and listened to the Mother Fletcher's account of what happened? Mother Viola's account. How many times? How many times have you read the transcripts from the court case that they threw out about the reparations for them people? With all the information out, you want to sit here and talk about what you believe? And I tell people this all the time. Matter of fact, let me give you a visual aid. I'm gonna show this one more time. I'm gonna have to do this. Give me 1 second, family. One second, family. Now, I tell this to people all the time, right? There's a difference between knowledge and belief. And I tell people this all the time when it comes to spirituality, when it comes to the Most High, when it comes to the Bible, when it comes to just anything that has to do with the inner being, the inner spirit, the Most High God within you. And I have to explain to people because they like to tell everyone what they believe instead of what the knowledge that they have. And I tell people all the time that the first 4 letters of knowledge is what? The first 4 letters of knowledge is what? Is no. Knowledge is what you know. Belief. I don't give a damn about a person's belief because whether it is belief or believe, when you look at belief in the middle, if you take out the F and the B, you're going to always see the lie. When you look at believe in the middle, you will always see the lie. So when people talk about what they believe, to me, I tell them we don't need to go further in this conversation, because you're going to speak about what you believe, and I'm going to speak about what I know. You're going to speak about what you believe because you haven't did the research, or you refuse to do the research, and I'm going to bring out what I know because I have the research. I don't play with anybody's beliefs. If that's what you believe, then God dang it, go on and live your life believing it, because you're not going to try to change. Excuse me, let me rephrase that. You're not going to change me with your lie. You're not going to change what I know and what I can prove with a lie that you believe in. It is that simple. So when people start talking about what they believe, immediately, the conversation is over. And since we in church here today, let me also give you this tidbit. There's a difference between knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is what you know. Wisdom is what you do with what you know, how you implement what you know. Some people can have knowledge and no wisdom. Some people can be wise and have no knowledge. But when it comes to their decision making, they're pretty knowledgeable about that. But that's just a little bit I wanted to drop in there as well. Let's continue, shall we?
Accused of lynching,
No,
or not
it
lynching,
was
was
not
accused
lynching.
of raping a woman. And then because of that, there was this
The
anger and a
inappropriate
mob
behavior
started.
inappropriate behavior with a woman. There was a conflict that occurred. The first shots rang out from black people, shooting and killing several white people. And then
Family, this is what happens when you have a debate with somebody who believes they know what they're talking about. We're going to let them continue, and then we're going to go into what actually happened.
How many black people were killed in total?
I don't know how many black people were killed in total. I just know black people fired the
Well, I
first
do.
shot.
Can I tell you?
Well,
It was
okay.
300.
How many
and
white
that's
people were
like a
killed?
low
How many
estimate.
white people were killed?
They not as many, because it was a riot
Because
against
what
the black
happened was
community.
white people came up into Tulsa, Oklahoma. It became a
Can I ask
violent
you a question?
confrontation, and white people overran the black people in that
Can I
confrontation.
ask you, because it kind of feels like you're defending the race rioters.
I'm
a
not
little bit.
defending any race riots. I'm saying
It
it's a
does.
conflict that happened.
Can you
You're saying that
acknowledge
it's
that this is
targeted.
one example in
You're
which white
saying-
people hurt black
No,
people unjustly?
you're saying.
Can you just say this is one?
What you're trying to say is that black people are doing their own thing, and a bunch of white people just came up and destroyed all their property just because.
Yes!
That wasn't what happened.
That
It was a
wasn't what-
conflict.
so,
It was a
okay.
conflict that occurred that caused that to happen.
But you know the KKK existed, right?
They did.
Yes,
In
white
the
supremacy
South.
exists, and that was in
In
the
the
South. Where's
South.
Oklahoma?
I didn't say that white supremacy don't exist. We're not arguing
Yes,
that.
that was the point, though.
I'm not arguing that the Ku Klux Klan didn't have a negative effect on the black community. We're not arguing that.
But that's what we are arguing. The whole point of this prompt is that black people hurt the black community more than white people.
So,
and these are some
okay.
examples of white people hurting the black community. And every time I give you one, you say no.
Let's give
that
an
happened.
example of.
I will give a shout out to her. I will give a shout out to her for actually holding his feet to the fire and making him look as stupid as he already looks. Shout out to her for that. And shout out to Cassandra, my sister. Thank you for putting this in the chat as well. Solomon said it best after God gave him knowledge, and he thanked God for it, but asked for wisdom to apply the knowledge. Facts. And thank you very much for putting that in the chat, my sister, because like I said, let he with ears hear. Let them with ears hear. Shout out to our brother Antithesis. I'm reading a book about the race riots in Tulsa now. I have to reread that chapter. He is caping though. Yeah, absolutely. You wouldn't even have to read the chapter over to know he's caping. We know that he's caping. And we know why he's caping. He's putting on that goddamn, he got a cape like goddamn Dr. Strange over here trying to put on the show for these folks. Shout out to our sister, Mrs. L, in the building. Much love to you, my warrior sister, and thank you for being here. Brandon needs his ear tied behind the back of his head. Behind his head. Oh, man. Yeah, they would fit too. You know, him and Will Smith, they got to run for their money, I would think. Shout out to Thelma. She says, the Most High and our ancestors will get him for these lies. And I'm with you 100% there. That's why, like I said, we're going to call it out. And once we do, and while we do, the ancestors will move with expeditious speed. Let's go here, family. It's real easy to know the story.
The death of George Floyd in the hands of Minneapolis police came on Memorial Day. 99 years before, that same week, Black Americans suffered a massacre. In the days after World War I, a neighborhood in Tulsa, Oklahoma called Greenwood was among the wealthiest Black communities. Oil made Greenwood rich, but jealousy made it suffer. In 1921, a white mob with incendiary rage burned Greenwood to ash. Even
the definition of a tether can be looked up. I'm going to leave that at that. If I see anything continuing on the subject when we're moved past that, then I'm going to take it as you're trolling. But if you want to know the definition of a tether, you can Google it. It is well known. Now, I'm not saying that you're trolling, but I'm giving you the opportunity to show me that you're not trolling. If you want the definition, you can Google it and come back when you're ready. Let's continue.
and memories were murdered when the dead were dropped into unmarked graves. Last December, before the pandemic, we found Tulsa preparing to embrace a reckoning with a plan to exhume the truth and raise the dead.
The story will continue in a moment.
The community that is Greenwood has thriving businesses, professional offices, doctors, lawyers, dentists.
John W. Franklin speaks of Greenwood in the present tense.
Greenwood is the nexus of that African-American community.
Perhaps because he studied Greenwood in 32 years as a historian at the Smithsonian, or likely because Greenwood is personal.
And my grandfather moves here from Rentersville in February 1921. And he's the first person in the family to go to college, Buck Colbert Franklin.
Buck Colbert Franklin was a lawyer who chased his dream to a promised land. Booker T. Washington named Greenwood Negro Wall Street because the district was lined with Black-owned shops, restaurants, 2 newspapers, a 54-room Grand Hotel, a hospital, and the Dreamland Theater, which would soon boast air conditioning. But on the day after Memorial Day, 1921, Buck Franklin awoke to fearful news.
He hears that there's to be possibly a lynching. There's this Black man who's been caught with this white woman in the elevator, and the newspapers are saying, read all about it. There's extra, read all about it.
Tulsa's white newspapers told of a Black teenager who allegedly attacked a white female elevator operator. At the jail, a lynch mob demanded the prisoner. Black veterans of World War I arrived to shield the defendant for his day in court. A shot was fired, and in a running gun battle, the mob chased the Black vets to Greenwood.
One of the moments during the riot that your grandfather wrote about was this. On they rushed, whooping to the tops of their voices, firing their guns every step they took. What is it like for you to read those words today?
He too was traumatized by seeing people being shot in front of his eyes. He describes a woman who's trying to find her child, who's run in front of her, and she's unafraid of the bullets raining down because her concern is to find her child.
What began as an attempted lynching at the jail erupted into a massacre. From a high grain elevator, a machine gun laid fire on Greenwood Avenue.
Where's the fire department? Where's the police when we need them? We're part of a city. This is not some small town. This is a city of wealth and order and governance. It is now taken over by a mob.
The police joined the mob. National Guard troops pressed the attack against what one guard officer called the enemy. Quotes from eyewitnesses include, "Old women and men, children were running and screaming everywhere." A deputy sheriff reported a black man dragged behind a car. His head was being bashed in, the deputy said, bouncing on the steel rails and bricks. But what happened next may have frightened Buck Franklin even more.
And he hears planes circling and sees roofs of buildings catching fire. And these are from turpentine balls, burning turpentine balls dropped from planes.
The first time in American history, the airplanes were used to terrorize America was not at 9/11, was not at Pearl Harbor. It was right here in the Greenwood district.
Reverend Robert Turner's Vernon AME Church was among at least 5 churches burned, along with 1,200 homes. A photo was crudely and imperfectly hand-lettered at the time, running the Negro out of Tulsa.
36 odd square blocks, city blocks, was destroyed. And before they destroyed it, they looted. They took nice furniture, money.
When the black hospital burned, white hospitals refused to take Greenwood's wounded. Those who bled to death included Greenwood's most prominent surgeon. Ultimately, one hospital did make space in its basement for black casualties. The number of dead is estimated between 150 and 300. Survivors included 10,000 now homeless African Americans. 6,000 of them were herded into internment camps and then released weeks later.
I don't know how they did it, but the following Sunday after the massacre, they came and worshiped in our basement. And
yeah, Tatum. Like I said, it's very easy to just look these things up. The police got on board. They deputized the citizens. The National Guard got on board. Airplanes was used. God dang, bombs was dropped. Army-style machine guns was used. Tell me when a white person has ever been through any of this in this country. Tell me if this sounds like a situation. A B1 salute to Chris Radio in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here, family. And make sure y'all go and shoot our brother a follow. I shall be on his broadcast this upcoming Wednesday in the afternoon. So stay tuned to those details. I'll be posting on that soon. Shout out to you, family, and thank you for being here. Let's continue.
that's the same basement that we have today.
The death of a black man at the hands of police is today shouted into the national memory.
Thanks to all of you for being here.
But in 1921, it remained possible to erase a genocide.
I grew up attending segregated Tulsa public schools. Never in any of the schools was anything ever said about it.
The congregation of Vernon AME Church is 2 generations beyond 1921, but they too were victimized.
This was not taught in the public school.
No.
You never heard about this in class?
You never heard a word about it.
When I went to OU in 1998, I was sitting in a class of African-American history, and the professor was talking about this place where black people had businesses and had money and had doctors and lawyers, and he said it was in Tulsa. And I raised my hand and said, no, I'm from Tulsa. That's not.
People in their own communities didn't even know about this history, even though that there are plaques to this history. Shout out Christian Wright in the building. What up, though? Much love to you, and thank you for being here, family.
Not accurate. And he was talking about this massacre riot. I said, man, what are you talking about? I said, I went to school on Greenwood. I've never heard of this ever.
How many people were arrested, tried for what happened in Greenwood?
No one.
200 or 300 people murdered, an entire community burned to the ground. and the police were unable to find a single person.
It's a real tragedy.
All the thousands of claims that were filed by African Americans, not a one insurance company paid that claim. And our church was included.
No insurance honored for Black Tulsans, no arrests made, no complete count of.
No, they didn't. Hold the hell up.
My grandfather built this country, man. He fought wars for it. And most places he went wouldn't let him sit down and get a cup of coffee. I can't even catch a cab in New York. You know, it doesn't matter how many degrees I get. All you people see is color. Your grandfather was an immigrant. You're American. My grandfather was born here, Duke. And you people still look at me as just another nigga.
I know that the government, whatever can't stand us black people, he doing everything in the world to make black man be extinct. But I'm going to tell you one thing, us black people going to survive. Yeah. So fuck everybody. I'm out.